and welcome back. Whew, y'all, forgive my appearance. It's gym day, and boy, was it a tough one. I had missed Friday, so it's okay. I'm back on track, and we are going to be reading from our little book, Hold Me Up a Little Longer, Lord, by Marjorie Holmes. The title is Good Roots, and it's on page 38 for me. So if you want to read along, and let's just see how the Lord is going to minister to us today. So let's get started. Good roots. Help me to give my children good roots, God. As I work with my plants, I see the sturdiest and those which bear most freely are those whose roots go deep, gripping rich soil. They have a base from which they can grow tall and beautiful and sound. Let this household furnish that kind of soil for my family, God. Enrich with good music, good books, good talk, good taste, but above all, goodness of spirit, goodness of action, so that those who come here feel welcome and those who leave here feel warm, and those who live here know in every fiber of their being that they belong to people who, for all our faults, are good people. People of decency and honor, and who would not willingly hurt or cheat any living thing. Let my children grow freely, God, in whatever direction their nature directs, but give them root strength. But give them root strength too, so that they will never deviate too far from their own beginnings. Help me to give my children good roots. You know, this is such an awesome reading today, and it really goes, I feel, this is just my opinion, that is what is so wrong with our world today, because so many people and families have gotten away from the basics of life, and that is God and Bible. That is truth. That is prayer. That is relationship with the Lord. And we are seeing the evidence of those children that are not raised to have good roots. I'm so thankful I was raised in a time where, even though I may not have always appreciated it or even wanted it, but I was taught, right from wrong. I was taught to, pray, read my Bible, talk to the Lord. I was raised to go to church. I went to church all of my life. And I'm not saying you have to go to a church in order to have the Lord in your life. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying all of that was a part of my root system. And that has made me who I am today. And if you'll look back, it kind of has made our generation and the ones before us the same. It's this new age generation that they just don't seem to have the same root system we do, for lack of a better word. And all of that really all stemmed when they started taking God out of everything. When they took God out of our schools, they took prayer out of our schools. I didn't understand it at the time, and even now it's even hard for me to wrap my head around it, but because it was just always part of our life. But there are some children that the only time they heard about God or heard the Bible read was at school. The only time they got a good, decent, hot meal was at school. And that is so foreign to me, because I was so blessed to have the childhood and the upbringing that I did, where it was just instilled in us, prayer and the love of God. And that was the basic of our root group, our root strength, our sturdiness, our growing was our raising and just being raised. And I remember all of my life, anytime family got together, we would have conversations, but it would always turn back around to talking about the Lord and the goodness of the Lord, and the prayers answered and people giving testimonies. That was just how I was raised. So I just assumed, in my own naive way, everybody was raised that way, but they weren't. And when they started taking God out of schools and stopped reading the Bible, really stopped doing the pledge to our flag, all of that, you can see, if someone would do a graph, you would see the downward spiral of America, because they have removed God from so much. And then I watched some of these things that is happening out in broad daylight, in plain sight, that they're literally saying. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. And it's scary. I was watching, it popped up on my Instagram feed about these drag queens and these parades, and they were chanting, "We're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children." They're not even hiding it anymore. So let me tell you something. If you got little ones that you're responsible for, be it your grandchildren, your own children, maybe some nieces and nephews, maybe even just the neighborhood kids that like to come to see you, it is so important that we start putting in a good root system with those kids, because let me tell you something. The devil is out there. He's out there, and he is targeting our children. And it's so sad that our sweet little innocent children cannot grow up in a world where they're not targeted and abused and mistreated and treated like they're some object, like they're disposable. And it just sickens me, honestly. It sickens me to no end. But again, I say, they have removed God from everything. And so it is up to us, the believers, the Christians who know God, know his abilities, know what he's done for us, to speak up and be bold. They're not shy about what they think and believe. Why should we? Why should we? Now, there's a right way of going about it and a wrong way, but we need to be just as bold in a loving, godly manner and stand up for our children and hopefully help them to have a good root system that they can grow and know God and know who he is, know his name, know that they can talk to him, that they can go to him when they are scared or unsure, when they have decisions that need to be made, and just to know that he wants them, and he wants what's best for them, and he wants to save their soul, and he wants them to be with him in eternity in heaven. And that the devil is out there seeking and lurking and prowling and just looking for them to devour them. It's a scary time, y'all. It really is a scary time. And I hesitate to say too much because this is not political, okay? This has nothing to do with politics. This is what comes down to right and wrong, good and evil. And what we're witnessing today is pure evil. And it used to be they would try to hide it and be sly. But now it is so bold and in your face. I'm just sick. And it just disgusts me to see what this world is coming to and how so blatantly in your face, and they still want to act like it's not happening. And it sickens me to no end. And I know that if it sickens me, what must it do to God? There's definitely much to pray about. And we must pray for our children. We must pray for them because so many of them do not have that good root system. They don't have that. They've never had that. They've never been exposed to that. And that's so sad. Something that I take for granted so many times, all of my life. And so many are robbed of that. And it's so sad. Whew. Okay, y'all, I didn't mean it to go down this path, but it's truly the times we live in. This is the times we live in. And not to be negative or anything like this, I feel it's going to get worse. And I question how could it even get worse than it is, but it's possible. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad. So, didn't mean to depress you or bring you down. It's just much we need to pray about. Yeah, we need the encouragement, but we also don't need to live in such a cloud that we don't know what's really going on. And we are here to pray. Pray. Prayer is the only thing keeping America going right now. The ones of us who are praying that's all that's keeping America going right now. If you would have told me 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago that our America would be so embracing of a demonic spirit, I would just look at you and say, there's no way. Because America was founded on God. It was founded on prayer. But here we are. Here we are. It's so sad. Wow. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Let's just join together and pray, because it is amazing what prayer can do. And it is amazing how something can look, and just a simple prayer, God can come in there and move in that situation. And before you know it, it will be like it never was. He's able to do that. So let's just join together and pray. Pray for our country. Pray for our children. Pray for one another. And together we're going to get through all of this, and we will be at our final reward. Thank you. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.